Hey everyone, welcome back. Today I'm going to show you how to make this little, what I call a tag jig. Now you can make this with a credit card, cut off the edges and be done with it, but for me, I like all things Holtzified. So this was the first one that I made, and I'm just going to show you how I made it. It's a pretty easy thing to do, but let me show you what's cool about it. Okay, so say for instance, you want to make a tag. Yeah, I have the tag dies from Tim Holtz, and yeah, I have some Tim Holtz tags. But say you run out of Tim Holtz tags. You're in mid-project, right? You're working on a journal or something, and you need a big size tag or any size tag. You just need a tag. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to demonstrate how to do that. First of all, I grabbed my decal tool, and that just won't do. I'm going to cut this 8.5 11 by 11 piece down to 3 inches by 6 inches. So this is for a large size tag. Again, you can do any size tag with this tool. So the cool part about the tool here is that you try to hand cut these, and you don't get them straight, if you do get them straight, I applaud you because I can't. So I want to make the corners on this one just a 1/4 inch. So I'm going to line both edges of that jig up and then just trim off with my scissors, so I don't have to draw anything. I don't have to make any dots or erase any pencil. Just going to line up the corners and snip it off. And there I've got an instant tag. So again, you can do this with a credit card, and let's just say you want it a 1-inch corner. We'll just go ahead and do one, and I'm just doing the other side of the one that I already cut out. And of course I'll use this. I'll have to Holtzify it, but yeah. So I'm lining up the edges. See, both edges are lined up. Just hang on to it and just take my scissors and follow along that edge. And there I've got two perfect on both sides, as long as your paper's square, mind you. So what I did was I cut out a 3-inch square piece of chipboard, and I'll leave a link to where to get the chipboard down below. You can also use like some scrap, like the back of your watercolor pad or something like that. And it doesn't have to be super thick, but the thicker it is, the better. And I saw a YouTuber do this. She just does it with like a gift card or something. But so normally, to do that, you'd have to make the marks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with my 1/4 inch. I don't think this ruler's working out for me. Let me grab my Tim Holtz ruler. Where'd you go? And also, yeah, let's put it on a piece of white piece of paper so you can see what I'm doing here. Yes, yeah, that ruler's just not, there we go. I like this one. It's just easier to see the marks. And I'm going to lay that straight across with the top part, and I'm going to mark in 1/4 inch. And I know it looks like I marked 1/2 inch, but I don't trust the corner, to be completely honest, so I do it from the next one down, and I'm just marking 1/4 inch. Then I will take my ruler, and I want to make sure that one of the lines on this little triangle ruler is lined up with the edge of my piece of chipboard. And this is just how I'm going to make sure I get the correct angle. It doesn't really matter. You can do any angle you want. But for this jig, I want all of my angles to be 45 degrees. So I'm going to scoot it up a little because I want to cut in between those two dots, in the middle of the dots, not on the inside or on the outside. Because they, if you used a pencil, they wouldn't swell, but they swell if you use a Sharpie, the ink spreads. So I'm just going to trim that off. I'm going to go all the way around. My next one I'm going to mark at 1/2 inch. I'm just going to take my ruler again. I'm going to find a straight line on there and line up the top, and then mark it at 1/2 inch on both sides. And then I'm going to take that my triangle ruler again, and you don't have to use a triangle ruler. You just want to make sure that it's lined up. I have this left over from my quilting days, and so I continue to use the rulers I invested in. Probably paid $7 or $8 for this ruler, maybe even more. I don't know. They tend to be expensive. So I'm going to mark that at the 1/2 inch mark, and now I'm going to do a 3/4 inch. Just a handy little tool to have, and I'll punch a hole in it in the end so I can hang it up, or keep some of my tools together, like on a ball chain type thing. So I'll mark that one at 3/4 inch, counting to make sure. Measure once, measure twice, cut once. Yeah. Lining up that line with the outside edge of my little ruler, and taking my finger knife again. See, you could go all the way up to here, but then you don't have a lot of surface to hang onto it while you're cutting, and it'll try and move around on you. But you can use that edge if you want to. I just prefer to bring it in because I don't trust it to not move on me. And just make sure it's lined up with one of those lines. And I'll cut that 45-degree angle, and I'll mark that at 3/4 inch. And then finally I'll do a 1 inch. And you might not have much of an occasion to use the 1 inch, but you never know. You just never know. I'm going to do the same thing with my little corner ruler. Lining up that line with the outside edge. I'm just going to hold it down, and I'll probably take 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 cuts to get all the way through so I don't accidentally move my ruler. So I'm going to mark that at 1 inch. Not that you're going to see the marks once we're done, but I mean, this thing is, for all purposes, done. You don't have to do anything more to it, but who would I be if I didn't Holtzify this bad boy? So I'm going to take a scrap piece of paper and decide where to lay this on there, where I take advantage of still having lots of leftover scrap because I love my scraps. And I'm just going to go ahead and glue this down, just using my Reptile Adhesive. By the way, it's not available right now. They do not ship in freezing weather. So like they are glitter glue, it can't, it's probably, you know, a similar formula. So for this, you could use the Ranger Multimedia Matte if you want to, or your Collal glue, or whatever glue, your 3-in-1 beacon, whatever glue you have. Just going to use glue. I'm going to go ahead and burnish this down as well. My bone folder, get some of this stuff out of the way from my last video. Okay, now that I've got that good and stuck down, I'm just going to take my knife and start trimming it off. And this one is a lot easier than the corner miter because it's not, you know, it's not as detailed. Trim off my excess pieces. Okay, trim there. Trim down this edge, and then trim off that corner. Easy peasy. Just making sure there's no excess paper on there, just because I don't need anything hanging over. So there's side A, and you can mark those if you want to. You don't have to. And I am looking for another piece of scrap, but it looks like I don't have one, so I'm just going to grab another piece of paper out of the paper pad. Again, this is just a scrap that I have. I think it was from the French Industrial or something like that. It was a 12 by 12 pad that's not available anymore either. These are retired. You can still get them. I buy them on Amazon, but they're retired, so they're not being produced anymore. Sometimes I think I got that paper pad at Joann. And I want this one, I want the scripty part on the showing. So I'm just going to lay this piece down here. Again, take advantage of as much, or using as little as possible on this scrap, so I still have leftover scraps. I'm just taking a paper towel and wiping off any excess glue. We don't want that because it's going to impede our use of our tool. Okay, I'm going to flip it over, use my bone folder, make sure it's good and stuck down. Again, you can completely skip all of this and just use the piece of chipboard or whatever you happen to cut out. And I'll go ahead and just kind of trim around this first so that I don't have as much to cut off. And I'll trim it down. I have a lot of fun making stuff like this. And I made myself a T-ruler, and I made myself just a 6-inch ruler because I happened to get lucky and find some Tim Holtz paper that was accurate as far as the grid went. And so I was able to make a ruler. I thought I turned that down. Sorry about that. Okay, get all that trimmed off, and now all that's really left to do is grunge up the edges and decorate it. So I'm just using my vintage photo, and I'm using the flat foam for this because it just does a better job at getting edges like that. And the dome foams tend to tear up on the chipboard and edges like that. It just is hard on them. So I'll use this one until it's dead. And I'll go ahead and just kind of get the edges here. This is how I get so dirty, is doing edges, but that's okay. I don't mind. So I'm going to mark this, and I'm looking for my black Sharpie. I end up not finding it, so I just end up marking it with my blue one. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. You know I'm going to find that black Sharpie as soon as I clean up my mess, but anyways, let's just grab the blue one. No, come on, where's the black one? Yeah, I'm about to give up on trying to find the black one. And you don't have to mark them. You can just leave it like it is. Or you can decorate it further. So I think what I'll do, since I can't find my black Sharpie and I don't really want to use blue and I don't have a green Sharpie, I'm going to use my little Stipello All pencil, A-L-L pencil. I'm just going to mark it with the pencil. So I'm going to mark the 1 inch, I'm going to mark the 3/4. I'm going to mark the 1/2 inch, and then I'm going to mark the 1/4 inch, which you can't really see very well, but that's okay. And next we're going to I'm going to grab my, these are the Tim Holtz Field Notes snippets. They're mini, they're small, and I'm just going to pick one out. The hardest part is choosing what to put on there. That is not Tim Holtz, so I'm not putting that one. I like it, but I'm not putting it. Maybe it is, but I don't think it is. I can usually tell. And I don't really want a butterfly. Let me find. Oh my goodness. What do we have here? So many to choose from. Yeah, we'll take that one. And I'm going to just use that same, I'm not even going to re-ink, I'm just going to grunge around the edges of this one, get it dirty. You can see again why I get so dirty from grunging up tiny things. So now I get to decide where I'm going to put this. And I know I just am, my little OCD wants it to be straight, so I don't know. I'm crazy, I know it. Yeah, I like it right there on the 1/4 inch edge. I'm just going to grab some of my Reptile adhesive and glue it down. Okay, and then I'm just going to give it a push with my paper towel, so if any oozes out, I can clean it off. And I'm just going to throw a little grunge there where I got some sort of a white nick and just mess it up a little bit more. And then I'm going to grab a word from this little sticker pad. This is the, oh, I went so fast I don't know. I'll put it in the description box below. This is also a Tim Holtz Idea-ology. And I am going to actually grunge this up right here on my finger. And I'm going to add a little bit of glue just to make sure it's stuck down, because now I got my finger in it, I'll lose some of my stickiness. And I'm just going to put that, plop that down right there. Perfectly happy with it there. And what you can do is you can punch a hole in it. Now I'm trying this with my regular hole punch, but it just doesn't want to punch through. And so I try not to make too bad of a mark if it's not going to punch through. It will punch through the chipboard alone, but not with the paper glued on top. Doesn't want to do it. So I'm going to have to grab the big boy, my crocodile, and I'll use the larger side. And you don't have to put a hole in it, but I'm putting a hole in it because I want to have all my tools in one place. So I'm going to attach them to a... well, this thing is fighting me. I'm going to attach them to a one of those ball chain things. And now that I made a hole in it, I can see some white paper core, so I'm going back through with my little tool just to grunge that part up too. And then I'll go ahead and get the back a little bit dirtier too. There we go. Now once this dries, it won't get on your other stuff, so you don't have to worry about it. So you could put, if you wanted it really decorative, you could put a piece of ribbon. I've got a piece of sari ribbon that I'm going to try. And let's see if I can get this piece of sari ribbon through here. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Anyways. I'll get it through there and you'll see what it looks like with the ribbon, but that's the gist of it. The ribbon is obviously going to get in the way if you're trying to use it, so you could put a little chain or something or skip the hole altogether. But hey, if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and leave a comment in the comment section below. And if you want to see more videos from me, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Here's another still picture of my Holtzified tool. Thanks so much for watching. Y'all have a great day. Bye-bye.